Is there a point when being picky becomes a problem?
If too picky means I'm being unrealistic and I'm picking at negative things constantly, then there's something deeper going on. Again, the surgeon part of me comes out. And it's like the too picky, if someone really is always picking on everything negative with every date, and that's your pattern. And I always look to patterns. Patterns reflect what's going on at the subconscious level, and patterns are a reflection of you, not someone else. So if you have a pattern, we all have patterns. Like this is part of what we are on the planet to fix and become whole through, right? So if you have a pattern that you're noticing, you're the common denominator of that pattern. No one else is. It's me. So that pattern then becomes a mirror. Why don't we grow and learn from it so quickly? Because we judge ourselves so harshly for it. So the judgment itself keeps us stuck. And if we just remove the judgment and say, I'm just going to look at it with compassionate curiosity, isn't that interesting I have that pattern? Isn't that interesting I attract emotionally unavailable guys? Isn't that interesting that I always attract commitment phobes? Isn't that interesting that I always attract people like not even at anywhere near my ballpark? Like that's my pattern. So then I have to look inside and say, what's going on there? What's going on that it's my pattern? So too picky is a pattern. A pattern can be a pattern, not always. Being too picky can be used as I'm going to pick my date apart and find the negatives, and then I have a reason to reject. So what's going on? So too picky can be a defense mechanism. If I'm secretly, part of me wants to get married or be in a long-term relationship, and part of me is scared of that. I'm scared of getting hurt. I'm scared I'm not enough. I'm scared of failure. I'm scared I'm going to be betrayed. Many fears that come in that are valid. But if part of me is scared of that subconsciously, guess what? I am going to do everything in my power subconsciously to protect myself and not get into a committed relationship. So what's the best way to do that? Pick my date to pieces. Always find valid reasons to say no, and no one can argue with you. So no one can know if someone's really too picky except themselves, unless a best friend is watching you every single date, pick apart a guy and goes, hey, I think you're being a bit harsh, right? Then maybe that too picky is acting as a defense mechanism. But rather than beat yourself up for it, be curious about it and say, whoa, what am I protecting? What am I defending against? Be compassionate about it, because you want to get into those layers so that they can shift.
The surgeon part of her, I think, that she's referring to is that fear of intimacy. From at least my own personal experience and seeing clients being picky, sometimes the deeper root of it is that fear of intimacy. And there's a big difference between you can still want intimacy, but be fearful of it, right? So there are a lot of people who say, I'm looking for someone, I want someone, I want to settle down, and they won't understand why it's not clicking, because the deeper subconscious part of them is that fear of intimacy, being afraid of it.